you. This comes from section 1, and it has to do a lot with our exponent rules. So I'm gonna slide our exponent rules onto the screen. If you wanna pause the video and write down these exponent rules on your paper, we're going to refer to them later in the problem. And we do need to know them to complete this problem. So I'll leave them there. All right. So it says, on a recent Algebra 1 test, Martha and Jose both simplified the following expression. Martha began by stating this. So before I even continue reading in the question, I want to verify if what Martha did was true. So we have a fraction raised to the exponent. So using my power rules, anytime I have 4 raised to an exponent of 2, remember that's 4 times 4, not 4 times 2. So 4 times 4, right up here, gives me 16. So far, so good. Now, every time that I have an exponent, so if I wanted to rewrite this, if there's not an exponent listed, it has an exponent of 1 next to it. One of the rules on our exponent list said that whenever we have an exponent raised to another exponent, I'm going to multiply them. So here I'm doing 1 times 2, that gives me x squared, I'm good there. And again with the y, I have 1 times 2, that gives me y squared, and I'm good there. Now, I need to check my denominator, right? The bottom half of my fraction. So again, I'm raising 2 to the second power. That means I'm doing 2 times 2. That gives me 4. I'm multiplying this power by my exponents inside. So 2 times negative 1 gives me negative 2. 2 times negative 3 gives me negative 6. So far, I can see that what Martha did is good, right? What she did was mathematically correct. So now, let's look at what Jose did. So we have the same fraction raised to the exponent of 2, and it looks like he approached it a different way. So he didn't do anything with the squared, he just manipulated the things inside. When we have negative exponents, that means they're in the wrong part of our fraction. So we want to make them not negative, and we want to put them in the top of our fraction. So I'm going to do some work down here below. So I can go ahead and divide my numbers. So 4 divided by 2 gives me 2. And then I have my x to the first power from the top. And when I bring this one, when I make it not negative, it comes to the top and I have x to the first power. So we can combine them later, but I want to write out what it looks like with positive exponents instead of negative. So again, I have that y to the first power. And then I want to bring this negative exponent up. So I get y to the third power, all squared. One of the other rules we said was when we have the same base, we can add our exponents together. So I get 2x, and then I have 1 plus 1, which gives me 2. And I have a base of y, so 1 plus 3 gives me 4. So I see that what I have here is the same as what Jose has up here, so that means he is also correct. Now when I look at my answer choices, A says Martha is correct. She raised everything in parentheses to the second power. Okay, that's true because that's exactly what we did. But we don't want to choose that yet because we want to look at all of our answer choices. Then it says Jose is correct. He simplified the fraction first, which he did. C says neither are correct. Well, we saw they were both correct, so I don't want to choose C. So I want to choose letter D. Martha and Jose were both